Welcome to the Whisky World Cup 2022 opening match. Bulleit Rye versus Glenlivet 12 Double Oak. Very strong rye flavor. Looks like a rye bread or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a pumpernickel bread.
Switching over, counterattack, Glenlivet 12 Double Oak. Fruit, vanilla, marzipan at the end.
Yeah, that almondish kind of flavor. Yeah, this is a tough call. You're really comparing apples and oranges. Absolutely love both of these whiskeys, but in a head-to-head, I'm going to have to lean towards the Glenlivet 12 Double Oak, just because there's a little more complexity. Same time, I mean, this is fantastic. It's one of my favorite ryes.
I give it slightly the Bulleit. So I guess that's a 1-to-1.
I don't know if you guys know this, there's a Soccer World Cup also. It's not only the Whisky World Cup that's held every 4 years. But in the regular World Cup, you can have a tie. And I think this matchup here, I think we go 0-0. Yeah, we go 0-0 or 1-1 if you want.
1 point from me, 1 point from you, okay. So it puts it on 1-to-1.
So there'll be no clean sheets this whole... All right, no clean sheets there.
None of the 0-0 nonsense.
So we got 1-1. 1-1 tie in the first match here. I have a feeling it's possible maybe these teams will see each other again somewhere down the line. Who knows?
Yeah. Matchup number 2, Whisky World Cup. Macallan 12 Double Oak against the Rock Island. 10 years. Starting with the Macallan here. Vanilla in there. Very sweet. Obviously coming in at 40%. Now let's compare that to the Rock Island, which is coming in a little bit stronger. Sea salt, touch of that smokiness in there. 10 years old. Back to the Macallan. Both are fantastic grams, I gotta say.
It's a pretty tough group here. Another tough matchup.
I personally like the vatted malt, the sea salt in there, everything else. But I gotta say, like for a nice zipping one, that vanilla custard in there, oh, beautiful.
This might disappoint a lot of the Macallan fans out there. They were probably hoping their squad would get off to a pretty good start. But I'm gonna actually go for the Rock Island on here. Maybe look a little bit of a minor upset. I think it's really a good representation of the Isle of whiskeys. Maybe it's the season. You know, maybe if it was in the summer, I would go for the Macallan. But as the winter is a little bit chillier here,
I'll second that. But it's very close, I gotta say.
I think you're really looking at two all-star teams, but it's a matter of the Rock Oyster catching the Macallan at the right time. You know, I think all the stars are in alignment. Maybe normally it would be a tie. Macallan might even edge it out. But I think at this particular moment with the season and the World Cup later in the stages, I think that the Rock Island actually is going to squeak out a winner.
Yep.
So there we go.
Match number 3, Whisky World Cup, Bulleit Rye versus Rock Island 10. Vatted malt Scotch against the Rye.
These are two rough and tumble whiskeys. Each of them has a little bit of an edge to them. Kind of interested to see what's going to happen when they go head to head. Sure. Kick it off. First we'll go with the Bulleit.
Rye. Yeah, the pumpernickel bread that you already mentioned.
I don't know what it is. It tastes a little bit better today than it did for the first match. I mean, I think they maybe have some changes in the distillery.
The Rock Island just got it. The nose is just beautiful. Perfect. It's difficult because obviously the Bulleit Rye, it's just there. It's a presence. It's a wall. It's just it hits you with this enormous amount of rye, this dark, beautiful rye. And the Rock Island, it's just got so much going on. It just hits you with the sea salt, the sea air, and then it goes around, and it's got this long finish on there. The nose is absolutely beautiful. That Bulleit Rye has a nose for rye like no other rye whiskey, I gotta say.
Yeah, two different categories, very tough between them. I think here, just kind of, you know, in my head going one versus the other, I'm going to give the nod to the Rock Island. Reasoning why, two reasonings on there is the mouthfeel. You got that really oily mouthfeel. It's beautiful. Pretty nice. And then it's also good, imagine pairing it with some kind of seafood. You know.
Oysters. I can see what oysters are.
See what oysters. Right? I don't know why. Maybe they should have named it Rock Oyster.
Well, that would have been a good idea. Called, right?
Yeah.
They just named it Rock Island because they said maybe not enough people like oysters or whatever. But
I'm going to have to give the nod to the Rock Island. What do you think on there?
I actually like the Bulleit Rye a lot, and I'm a big fan of rye whiskeys. But in this case, the Rock Island, it's just such a such a beautiful whiskey. It might be because it is about it more. The distillery master just has a little bit more room to play. He's got a lot more weapons at his disposal, you know, when it comes to attack, midfield, or defense.
Right.
He can work on it. He can build up the nose. He can build up the palate.
Yeah.
He can build up the finish by adding in some different types of whiskeys, blending it with a different whiskey. But yeah, beautiful. Rock Island, 2-0.
Welcome back to the Whisky World Cup. Today we've got a real battle on our hands, an equal battle on equal playing field. We got the Macallan double cask, which is a double oak. It's just European and American oak. And here we got the Glenlivet double oak. So really they're going to go mano to mano, and I think this one should be really interesting. Finally, we're on kind of a level playing field. They're both 12 years old. They're both single malt scotches.
Both 40%.
Both 40%, both oaked. Let's see how it goes.
Let's start with the Glenlivet.
I would actually give the nose advantage to the Glenlivet.
Yeah, you might be onto something there.
Yeah, really that marzipan kind of almondish kind of vibe.
Macallan might have a little bit more flavor, yeah, especially on the mouth.
Yeah,
and
the mouth feels a little bit heavier. Another tough battle here.
I did my judgment.
You did it? What do you got?
I got the Macallan.
For the Macallan? Right.
I didn't think it was going to go like because I really like the Glenlivet normally when I'm out. Like I like that coconut flavor that the regular Glenlivet 12 has.
Yeah.
This is obviously the double oak, slightly different.
Yeah.
But whatever. But in this case, I think that enormous amount of flavor, the burst of flavor in the middle, the fruity vanilla custard, marzipan towards the end. I mean, the Macallan's coming in quite nicely.
You know, nobody likes a tie, right? Everybody wants to see a win. And today, you're not going to get a tie because I actually agree with the Macallan. Very close battle again. You know, this is like a punishment being a judge here because these are all fantastic,
these are gorgeous whiskeys,
fantastic drams. We haven't had a blowout yet. I'm kind of looking forward to that 2-0 no-brainer.
These are gorgeous drams here.
You're really splitting hairs between the two of them, but in the end, I do give the Glenlivet a slight advantage on the nose, but Macallan, I think, has a little bit extra in terms of flavor going in there, maybe also in complexity. You know, we're talking about last minute goal here for the Macallan to pull this one out.
Yep.
Last minute 2 goals, so they scored 1 and then they scored another in garbage time. You know, it didn't matter. So Macallan for the win.
Next match coming up in a pretty evenly matched group so far. We've got the Glenlivet 12 against the Rock Island 10.
This is a quite interesting one here because the Glenlivet is on the edge of elimination, whereas Rock Island is kind of rocking out.
It's very difficult between the two of them. It's really like, do you like the sea or do you like the orchard, right? Like,
yeah.
What do you prefer? Like you want to eat some fruit or you want to have some seafood, right? So,
but you know, folks, as we say, life is made of tough decisions. You know, a lot of people, we get a lot of flack. People say, you know, why are you going to match off a rye versus a single malt? Like, why is Isla going to go against a space side? But I'll tell you what, you got to make moves in life. You have to make a decision.
Actually, Glenlivet is really coming back a little bit the more you nibble on it, huh?
Yeah.
The more you nibble on it.
There are rumors, they can't be really confirmed, but I've heard after the first 2 matches, Glenlivet did make some changes to the administration there. It is a 12-year-old whiskey, but I think, you know, there's certain areas where they, you know, they could make improvements, and I think maybe they did that. It's tightening it up a bit, but...
Were those changes enough? I'm sorry, I got to go with the Rock Island still, but it's a slight move. I still got to go with the Rock Island.
Kind of want to give it to the Glenlivet, but
we can't let your personal feelings. You can't let your personal feelings.
This is a no spin zone here, so this one also Rock Island. So Rock Island goes undefeated through the group stages. Keep your eye on this one, whether you're in the liquor store or you're watching the videos.
It's got a shot at the title.
Yeah, and it's already clinched its spot in the next stage, top seed. So let's see how it goes.
See how it goes. Last match in Group A, starting with Macallan against the Bulleit Rye. Let's see how this one goes. Oh, Macallan right off the bat coming in with a fantastic nose. Let's see how the Bulleit strikes back.
If you look at the Bulleit Rye, it's kind of like one of these teams where they have like a dominant striker, but there's not that much behind it. You know, you just got the one thing. So with the Bulleit Rye, you really get this unbelievable like high rye mash, high pumpernickel kind of rye, a little bit of sweetness, but it's not the most complex, right? But it does what it does extremely well, right?
Gotta say that, yeah. The rye is just so beautiful. It makes you feel like you're sitting there in the Old West. You're zipping around a little bit and then you're hanging out at a bar. The proof is just the right way. Everything about it just fits. The flavor is beautiful. It's perfect.
And the Macallan, the double cask, it's good. I mean, the 18 or the 15 obviously are in a different league, but we're not talking about those today. We're really talking about these two whiskeys. What do you think? I'm going to give you the first word. I'm going to take the last word on this one.
Look, as much as I love the Bulleit Rye, I got to give this one to the Macallan.
The Whisky World Cup is about matchups, right? And it's kind of about your feeling in the moment, how when you're tasting the two side by side. In terms of these two whiskeys here, believe it or not, I think the Bulleit has pulled off, and in my eyes, a little bit of an upset here because
I can see that.
Side by side. I don't know, it just hit home this go around. So we got a 1-1 tie here.